I do not encourage nor condone any of the actions performed or products shown in this video. All of the videos are produced in a safe and controlled environment. Do not attempt to replicate any of the actions performed during this video.
Hello beautiful people from the internet, it is Connie over here. Welcome back to another video. Now today I have put on my best outfit so I could pass on to you the unwritten rules of cigarette smokers that I came up with myself along with some of my friends who thought the theme was cool and wanted in on it. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today while having my Chesterfield Original, which is a fan favorite. I am the fan. These are my favorite smokes. So I am going to unravel the pack, take one out, and start talking about the unwritten rules of cigarette smokers. Now, this is a video that I recorded 2 years ago, but I feel like it is sort of outdated as I don't agree with everything that I've said anymore, and I have come up with some new rules which are right here. Do not read them, and I will be talking about them as I have my smoke for this morning. So let's go. So the first rule that I have here that I have developed over the past year, this habit, is if you are in a social setting, ask if it's okay to light up a cigarette. Maybe you are with people who are smokers and they will most likely say, yeah, don't worry bro, absolutely, totally fine. Maybe you are in a setting where you are with non-smokers that might not enjoy it, and maybe they'll be like, show a little bit discomfort, and you can try and understand if you'd like to maybe light a cigarette another time or a little bit further away. I don't know, I just feel like it's a nicety that is not too difficult to implement. You will just look more polite, like you care more about other people, and you just won't make anyone uncomfortable with smoke that they don't want to be around. Another rule that I have tied with this one, so there are basically one rule, is ask if it's okay to light a cigarette and ask if anybody wants one, especially if you're in a group of people who you already know are smokers. Just be like, hey guys, I'm about to light a cigarette, is it okay? Does anybody want one? I think it's as simple as that, and I have been doing this every time I've been in social settings, which did not happen a lot throughout my life, but has been happening more over the past years. And I don't know, I feel like it makes people feel more comfortable and in a way connected, because they realize that you cared about what they felt about you lighting a cigarette. Another rule that I have here that I put on my video 2 years ago that I still go by is please do not litter your cigarette butts on the ground. It is extremely annoying to be walking around, especially here in the streets of Portugal. I don't know if this happens all throughout the world or not. Possibly there are variations, you know, in different cities and in different countries, but there are just so many cigarette butts on the ground everywhere here in Portugal, and it's not for a lack of trash cans. Anywhere you are, you can look around and you'll probably find at least 2 trash cans just in your line of sight. So please, it is not too complicated. Just finish smoking your cigarette and hold on to your cigarette butt, until you can find somewhere to dispose of it. Or maybe get a portable ashtray, something simple that you can carry around with you if you know that you're going to be outside smoking, because cigarette butts are really not good for the environment, and you don't want to be littering everyone's community space with your trash, right? So please take care of your cigarette butts. I find it very endearing when I see someone finishing having a smoke and taking care of their cigarette butts accordingly and politely. It just adds a whole charm to a person. So another rule that I have here is check the wind direction if you are smoking outside. This is something that I always do when I take my first hit of my smoke, just to make sure I'm not throwing smoke in anyone's faces, especially if I'm in a group of people. I am a smoker myself, but I don't particularly enjoy having a cloud of smoke being thrown in my face, because then it gets in my eyes and my eyes get all watery and they sting, and it just doesn't feel good. I just take my first hit, kind of check the vibe, check the wind direction, where is the wind going, where's the smoke going, and then I adjust my position to make sure that I'm not blowing smoke in anyone's face. I feel like it's another small nicety that it's pretty easy to get done and just makes everyone around you feel more comfortable. So check that wind direction. It is such a nice morning out here, let me tell you. It is cold, it is breezy, it is sunny, it has been cloudy but no longer. It is marvelous, really. I'm having such a great time. I just wish I had some water, but I don't. I just have an empty can of Monster, which is not going to serve me for much. This is another rule that I've developed by watching other people's behaviors, and this is, if you're walking while smoking, do not hold your cigarette at waist length, especially at the side of you, because it could hit other people as you are passing by. It could hit their clothes, it could hit them, and it's just not going to be a nice thing. if you accidentally burn someone else, you know. Or I feel like when I'm walking, the position that I like holding my cigarette at the most, maybe right here in this position, it may not feel the most comfortable, but at least I know that I'm not going to hit anyone with my cigarette. That has happened to me once, where I was hit with someone else's cigarette. Thankfully it only hit my coat, but it left a hole in it, which I didn't really enjoy all that much. And I feel like that was the day where I learned I wouldn't want to walk around with my cigarette at waist length, because it may hit someone else, and I don't want to be the cause of someone's bad day, you know. So I don't know, find a position to hold your cigarette that is comfortably far away from where other people could be, you know. Another rule that I go by is do not smoke near children. I do not care what the situation is. If I see a child coming my way, I either put out my cigarette or I hide it if I feel like I can hide it well enough. I know that this may be silly to some of you, but I know that being exposed to cigarettes when I was growing up made me more prone and comfortable around cigarettes. So if you just keep them away from children, I feel like there's a higher chance that they will not be predisposed to be more comfortable to try them later on in life. Listen, I don't know if this is the case. I haven't checked any statistics on this. This is just something that I cooked in my brain alone, so it may be wrong. But at least I know that I feel better knowing that I'm not smoking around children, possibly getting secondhand smoke in the area where they are hanging out, you know. I just am very cautious and careful around children, and I don't mind having to put out a cigarette and then lighting another one, wasting a little bit of money, sure, if I know that I have not exposed the child to secondhand smoke and to the vision of a cigarette in real life, you know. Another small rule that I have, especially if it's windy outside and I'm smoking, say, at a window at one of my friends' houses, I try not to flick the ash, and instead I tap it, because the path that the ash is going to make once it falls is more predictable if you tap it instead of flick it. I don't know, I just feel like it's more polite to take care of where the ash is falling. Of course, sometimes it is unpredictable even if you tap it, but if you tap your ash instead of flicking it, you can almost always predict where it's going, and you're not going to mess anything up, you're not going to litter anything that you don't want to be littering. This is just a very small thing that I've become aware over the years, and that I realized that I do. Something else that I have here is be aware of fire risk. Alright, fully extinguish your cigarettes if you're smoking during the summer in a place where there's lots of trees or grass or dry grass or tall grass or whatever it is. Make sure you have something on you, like a portable ashtray, where you can fully extinguish your cigarette to make sure there are no embers that could be starting any fires. You don't want to be the cause of that. Just make sure as you put out your cigarette it is fully extinguished. There are no risks of anything going wrong. Just be cautious of your environment. I think that's what I'm saying here. And it kind of goes along with not littering your cigarette butts, because some people finish smoking their cigarette and then they throw their lit cigarette at the ground, and that could very well start a fire in the right conditions of climate. So just be aware of your cigarette butt, make sure it is fully extinguished and away from any fire danger. And my last rule, it's one of my biggest pet peeves, and I said this rule in my last video. A lot of people didn't agree, but I still stand by this. You know, when you are smoking and you get a buildup of saliva in your mouth, I don't know why it is, I just know that it happens. Just don't spit it on the ground. Don't spit on the ground your cigarette-filled saliva, okay? It is such a terrible look. It's very, very gross. I don't think anybody enjoys hearing someone pulling out saliva from the depths of their mouth and spitting it at the ground. It just feels very disgusting, and it's just a bad look, and it's just not nice, you know. The world is yours to enjoy and to walk around and to appreciate, but it's not yours to litter, my friends. I don't know what to tell you. Have some water, keep your saliva to yourself. We don't need to be sharing these kind of fluids with one another, so please just don't spit on the ground. Alright, I understand the buildup of saliva can be a little bit annoying, but that is your problem as well as it is mine once it happens to me. So don't spit on the ground, alright? I would really appreciate that, and I think most people would really appreciate that. And that's it. These are my unwritten rules of cigarette smokers that I have come up with. over the years. I hope you have enjoyed, felt entertained, or even laughed a little bit if you thought some of them were silly, and I hope to see you all very soon. This has been a very, very nice chat, and have a beautiful rest of your day. All right, bye.